saying y'all can't sell.
I don't want to be filmed, so I'm going to ask you to leave.
Hours later.
How you doing?
She kind of filled me in on what was going on. Did she explain to you that they can't sell baby formula once they return it?
After she already did.
Okay, it's time to go.
So if it's
and you're
against the
banned
law,
from here. They don't want you back in here.
okay.
So if you come back, what's your name?
You don't need my name.
Oh yeah, I do.
You sure you know the law?
Yes, sir. I think I know the law.
Okay.
In this incident, a citizen engaged in a heated encounter with two police officers over his refusal to provide his identification. The encounter began when the officers approached the individual and asked for his name. The citizen, asserting his knowledge of the law, questioned the officer's authority to request his identification without reasonable cause.
So what's happened?
I really don't want to talk about it now because
That's fine.
you
I've been what?
you breaking my constitutional rights, sir.
Oh, I am. Okay.
I promise you are.
Okay.
But I just like you don't
Haven't
want to
broken
explain to
your
me, I'm not gonna
constitutional
teach you. You should already know these things. So
The younger officer, seemingly more informed about citizens' rights, attempted to explain to the older officer why the individual was not legally obligated to provide his name.
They'll try to get you to put your hands on them and try to get you to put them in trust. I know, Pete. Just listen.
But if he called it a disturbance,
I understand completely. But their goal is
his name.
Their goal is they want
Check
to
him for
sue.
warrants.
no,
Their
you're
goal
breaking
is-
my constitutional rights
goal is they
by
want to
threatening
sue.
to take me to jail for not giving you my name when I haven't committed a crime.
The citizen expressed his frustration with the older officer for attempting to infringe upon his constitutional rights and accusing him of breaking the law.
You're the one wanting to cause trouble, not me.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I would have just left. But you thought I didn't know what I was talking about. You thought you was just gonna break my constitutional
They
rights.
wanted you gone. I want to ban you. I want to run your
That's
ID.
fine.
and
I ain't-
check
I
you
ain't
for
broke the law,
warrants
though.
And didn't let you go.
I ain't
but
broke-
since now you want to stay and you want to wait for my supervisor to come and talk to you, we gonna stay here and we're gonna wait on him.
He gonna come talk to you.
Okay.
He ain't
All right.
coming to talk to me,
Oh, we
buddy.
gonna talk to you.
All right.
The younger officer acknowledged the citizen's concerns and emphasized the importance of de-escalation. As the conversation unfolded, the older officer initially insisted that the citizen was being detained and would have to wait for a supervisor. However, once the younger officer clarified that the citizen was not required to show his ID, the older officer changed his stance and expressed a desire to leave. The citizen pointed out the inconsistency in the officer's behavior, highlighting how the officer had initially claimed he was being detained but now was ready to depart.
He came in and barged in on me like I don't know my rights and I ain't got none at all. So
But you know,
Ask him the name.
there's constitutional rights, there's federal law, and then you got state law.
nothing
too,
trumps
right?
those constitutional rights, sir. Nothing. You should know that.
Okay.
Just in case you have to, just in
I
case
got
you lose your badge,
I got
you
you.
should understand that your constitutional rights.
Hey, if you got
That's
me
top
here,
dog, buddy.
You got me here, you got me here. But guess
But
what?
you've been nice, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I promise, man.
So can
Good
I-
energy,
Can
man.
I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Have I been ugly?
Have you got any money yet?
Any money?
Yeah.
Plenty.
From suing?
Nah, I don't need to do that.
So
I
you
haven't
have
been nice
Nah,
to you?
I don't need
Okay,
to-
How was I not nice
I
to you?
asked him, man. I
Did I
didn't
ask you your name?
Hey, it's all good.
I-
I'm
nah,
not worried about it. Pete, yeah.
ask him. He told me I was resisting arrest in front of all
I never
these,
told you that.
in front of all these people in
You
Walmart,
said,
as if
"Why
I'm a
do I have
criminal,
to give
man.
your name?" I
All
said,
right,
"Because
man. Come on, man.
you said-
But did you not tell me I had to give you my name?
Huh?
Did you not tell me I had to give you
Well,
my
I said
name?
you needed
So
to.
here's
No,
what
you
I'm
said you had to
Yeah,
give me.
here's what
I
I'm
had
gonna
to
teach
give you my name.
It's hot. I'm gonna sit in my beautiful AC car.
Man, you
while we
blessed,
wait on my
man. I
supervisor.
got to stand out here and wait on the supervisor, man. It is hot.
The conversation continued with discussions about constitutional rights and the role of law enforcement in protecting the public. The citizen asserted that his constitutional rights were more significant than any potential disturbance at a Walmart store, referencing his right to privacy and freedom from unwarranted searches or detentions. The officers defended their actions, citing a disturbance at the store as the reason for their inquiry.
Because I got stuff I got to do, but you got me
No,
detained now.
well-
So we got each other detained.
Well, you should have
He's on his
came
way.
in.
You talk to him, and then I'm out of here.
You should have came with a de-escalating spirit and not the one you in.
Okay. Okay.
Get me on camera. Unlawful detainment. For what? For what?
All of the disturbance in Walmart.
I ain't caused no disturbance. I was as quiet as
wasn't here,
a
but
mouse
that's what
standing
they
right
called
there.
us. When you look on my call,
It's on camera.
the signal on the call says a 25, which is a disturbance.
Does that camera lie? Neither does mine.
That's right.
You
But I
understand?
wasn't here when the disturbance was going on.
You didn't care to
Did
be
their
here. You
cameras
could have got
lie?
my
Because
side.
they probably have cameras on the whole
You could have
thing.
got my side.
Tried to.
No, you didn't.
But you just want to
It's
talk
on
about
camera.
constitutional rights,
Right.
and you want to talk about pot stirring stuff because you're trying to stir a pot.
My constitutional rights is more important than you trespassing me from Walmart for something you ain't even discussed amongst us.
Yeah.
This
I
is
just
a
asked you what your name was.
This is a private owned
I
business.
asked you what your name
I'm the
was.
public.
How is it wrong for me
I'll
to
pay
ask
you.
what your name is?
I'll pay you.
How is it
I live
wrong?
right around the corner. You just
I
ran
wear
my name.
name on here.
You
How-
just ran
how
my
is it
name.
wrong
I'll
for me
pay
to
my
ask-
taxes that pay you.
Throughout the interaction, tensions escalated, with the citizen becoming increasingly frustrated with what he perceived as a violation of his rights. The encounter concluded with the arrival of a supervisor who took over the situation. The citizen expressed his desire to have his side of the story heard, but the conversation reached an impasse as the officers maintained their position.
For Presley, badge number is 1679.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
He just broke
He
my
wanted to talk to
constitutional
me.
right.
Okay. The hell's that?
Under the threat of arrest, he told me I had to give him my name and I hadn't broken the law.
Yeah. Well,
I just want you to explain to him that
The incident raises questions about the officers' understanding of citizens' rights and their handling of the situation. The citizen argued that his rights were being violated, while the officers defended their actions based on the reported disturbance. The encounter highlights the need for better training and awareness of constitutional rights among law enforcement personnel to ensure the citizens' rights are respected and protected during interactions with police.
County building. I'm a journalist working on a story on the building and just taking a couple of video of the place and going to the clerks, filing some pull request, and be on my way.
In this clip from a YouTube channel, a citizen encounters two sheriff's deputies inside a county building. The citizen refuses to provide identification when asked, asserting that it would violate their Fourth Amendment rights. The deputies insist that signing in and providing identification is a requirement to enter the public building.
That's why I signed in as. I'm Erie County. No, thank you, sir.
Yes, that's the rule.
There's a violation of the Fourth Amendment to violate the Fourth Amendment.
You have to sign in. You have to use your.
I
correct
did
name.
sign in.
Your last name is not Erie County. Then show me your ID.
I'm here working as Erie County.
If your last name is Erie County, then you could stay. Come on,
No,
let's go.
I'm not leaving.
The citizen argues that he is being asked to sign in and show identification without reasonable suspicion of a crime, and that's a Fourth Amendment violation.
We don't have time to do what
Come on,
you're
Dad.
doing.
Let's go.
I'm not
Let's go.
doing anything.
Let's
Do
go.
not
Let's
touch
go.
me. Do not touch me.
They call for a supervisor to come and educate the deputies about the law. The encounter escalates as the citizen questions the deputies' knowledge of the Constitution and their understanding of civil rights.
These guys are violating my First Amendment rights and Fourth Amendment rights. They're impeding my traffic. They're causing illegal detention. They're refusing to put their body cameras on while they're violating my rights. I'm just trying to go to the county clerk's office and record my interactions, which is perfectly legal. You need to explain to them the freedom of the press, First Amendment, in public places.
Despite the citizens' attempts to assert their rights, the deputies persist in their demands for identification. The situation becomes tense as the deputies physically restrain the citizen, leading to accusations of assault and battery. The citizens remain steadfast, advocating for their freedom of the press and the right to document their experience in a public space.
Get ready to do some paperwork.
You're free to leave.
Oh, free to leave, free to stay.
That way.
Free to leave, free to go, free to stay. That's the way it works, guys. If I'm not being trespassed because I'm not doing anything illegal, you guys cannot impede my traffic.
Well, you didn't sign in.
I did sign in. Do you understand that?
No, you didn't.
I signed in. And you guys are going to know very, very, very well. Especially you. You are going to know who I am very well by the time this is over, my friend. You too. You ignorant sons of... This is what we pay for, guys. These are the sheriffs down here. They just think they can detain people willy-nilly, ID people on demand, to be inside of a public building.
What do you want to be, sovereign citizen types?
No, I don't have a badge like that. Those are the sovereign citizens. They can violate people's rights and get away with it and have these big stupid smiles on their faces and shit. Yeah, those are the real sovereign. Look at her. She knows that's a sovereign citizenship. Look at that smile. She can't even hide it. That's real sovereign citizenship right there.
Eventually, the sheriff arrives at the scene. The citizen expresses their concerns about the violation of their civil rights, including the deputy's demand for identification and the refusal of service at the county clerk's office. The sheriff defends the deputy's actions, stating that the situation is being addressed.
How are you, sir?
You're the sheriff of the county? This deputy and that deputy is violating my civil rights. They are also put their hands on me and assaulted me or battered me unlawfully because they do not have a lawful command to tell me to turn my camera off in this public space. You know that as a sheriff. I'm here to document my experience, and these guys are stopping me, causing illegal detention on my rights.
It doesn't look like you're being detained to me.
All right, thank you.
However, the citizen continues to argue that their rights have been violated.
You are violating the First Amendment rights and refusing service down here. That's all I want to know. You say yes?
Why don't we get a hold of the clerk's office and see if they want to see it?
Do the clerks have a choice who they get to see and don't get to see?
So,
When did that law come into effect?
They're down there talking to her right now.
I understand, but why is this door locked, Sheriff?
It's locked.
Why?
So,
Sheriff, why is this door locked?
if they're gonna
allow public services to public, what is going on here? You guys are violating my rights.
there's no rights being violated.
There's no rights being violated? I can't go to the county clerk's office because of why?
I'm
Because
sure
of the
you'll be able
camera?
to get there at some point.
When you educate your officers about my First and Fourth Amendment rights, they think they can get ID out of me to come into a public building. Do you agree with that, Sheriff? Sheriff, do you have to show ID to get into this public building? Do you have to show your driver's license?
You have to write your name down.
I did write my name down there, who I am.
Throughout the clip, the deputies display a lack of knowledge about constitutional rights and demonstrate a dismissive attitude towards the citizens' concerns. The encounter sheds light on the need for better education and training within law enforcement regarding citizens' rights and the importance of respecting those rights during interactions. The clip concludes with the announcement that the sheriff involved is retired and the failure of the department in handling the situation was exposed in local news coverage. The citizens' resilience in standing up to harassment and bullying is commended, and the clip serves as a reminder of the significance of holding law enforcement accountable for their actions. In the incident, Anthony X, a knowledgeable individual, engaged in a confrontation with patrol officers who approached him while he was recording in a public area.
Am I detained?
You're detained for reasonable suspicion right now, okay?
Of what crimes? Is that a misdemeanor or felony?
I believe it's a misdemeanor right now.
Anthony X asserted his rights and cited California Penal Code 148G and the Tom Bain Civil Rights Act to emphasize that his filming activities were protected by law.
The camera walking around, you have no right to detain me. Just so you know, if you interfere with my activity in any way, shape, or form, you will be in violation of California Penal Code 148.G and the Tom Bain California Act, which you can use your qualified immunity. I will sue you personally. 152.2 subsection B. Okay. Think your words wisely. Once again, am I free to go? Am I free to go?
He firmly stated that the officers had no right to detain him and warned them about potential legal consequences for interfering with his constitutional rights. After asserting his freedom to go, the officers acknowledged that he was not being detained.
It's public. I've never been trespassed from this area.
Stay off the secured.
I've never been in a secured area.
Stay off the secured airport property.
All right, do me a favor, and I'm open to a cordial conversation. Since I'm not detained at this moment, I have no problem.
You're free to go.
At this point, no, I'm just curious.
Nope.
So,
there's no detention or anything.
Okay, so I'd like the incident number, please. I will be doing a FOIA request on all information and body cam.
Anthony X requested the incident number and expressed his intention to submit a Freedom of Information Act request for all relevant information and body camera footage. The incident highlighted the importance of citizens' awareness of their rights and holding law enforcement accountable for respecting those rights.
Sorry?
That's not the way this goes. Who are you?
I'm Sergeant Barry Antis, Fort Wayne Police Department. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
I didn't give it.
I know. I want to know what your name is.
I don't care what you want. Well, that's not the policy.
The Secret Service.
I don't care.
Us to identify
then why don't they come out here and talk to me?
They will in a moment.
Okay, go ahead. Am I being detained?
What's your name?
Am I being detained?
What is your name?
Am I being detained?
Throughout the interaction, the citizen emphasized his rights and challenged the officers to justify their actions. He adamantly refused to comply with their demands, aware that his rights were being infringed upon. The citizen recognized the importance of knowledge about local laws and confidently navigated the situation using legal citations to support his arguments.
Nope.
All right, stop.
No. Am I being detained?
Yes, you are being
detained.
Am I being
detained?
Identify who you are.
That's not the way this goes.
Well, I don't care what you think.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I'm not.
Sir,
no.
The Secret Service has
I don't care.
To identify
I don't care what they want.
Okay.
That's not the way this goes.
I understand that.
Show me the law.
Okay.
The incident shed light on the issue surrounding law enforcement officers' reliance on ID requests without reasonable cause. The citizen demonstrated the significance of understanding one's rights and the laws governing such encounters. By standing his ground and refusing to provide identification when it was not required by law, he effectively challenged the officer's authority and highlighted their lack of legal justification. This citizen's actions underscored the importance of citizens being informed about their rights and the laws governing law enforcement encounters. His knowledge and assertiveness in the face of an overzealous response from the officers served as a powerful reminder of the need for accountability and adherence to proper protocols and law enforcement practices.
Police officers protect us from the evil people out there, but what if they turn out to be one among them? Today, we are going to reveal 3 female police officers who became the most wanted criminals and committed the unthinkable. Who are these female police officers? What did they do? Rose Valentino was a highly skilled police officer who had shown her immense dislocation and hard work towards her occupation in the police service. But an incident threw her off from her good record track and cut her name forever from the Cincinnati police officer list.
She said she became angry after a teenage student gave her the middle finger when she was over at Western Hills High School.
She was a star looked upon by her fellow officers. Her appearance in the TLC reality tube show gained her several fans. She had a positive attitude and was on good terms with most of the people she came across. On April 5th, 2022, Rose Valentino was on duty and was driving her police car. She was heading to the district police station to hand over a report when she noticed disturbing traffic caused by many cars parked near Western Hills University High School. She was in the driveway and found it very difficult to drive as these cars were linked up before her as an obstacle. Even though she was in no hurry, she became very furious and switched on her sirens and light. The people who were in the cars were the parents of the students studying in the high school. They all came to pick up their children after school hours. Rose Valentino was aware of the situation, but she couldn't control her anger. She started being verbally angry and demanding they move their cars. Her window was down and she started yelling at the people to move their cars and provide her with a way out. A black male student was Fossa pointed with the furious behaviors of Rose Valentino Demguille. He put up his middle finger. This was spotted by those, and she became even more furious. She reached a stage where she was no longer in control of her emotion. She started verbally abusing the boy by speaking mean words. She then started shouting the N-word, and this was heard by the crowd. Her frustration was due to the long lines of traffic and the ignorance shown by the people who did not move their cars. The incident was known to the public as it was recorded by the board camera in her car. Otherwise, she would have escaped the situation way before. As it was a recorded incident and primary evidence is there, actions had to be taken against her. The white police officer uses racial slurs against a high school student. This was the heading that covered all the newspapers and media. Rose Valentino was the one who claimed that the student showed her the middle finger. She has no evidence to prove her claim. Her board camera only recorded her racial slurs and aggressive behaviors. The student was not even visible in the board camera. Her claims will not stand on their own in court. She needs to prove it with evidence. As we look into the matter, we understand that Western Hills University High School is primarily filled with black students. Around 70% of the classroom strength is occupied by black students, was the interim police officer, and she thoroughly checked the circumstances and reason for Rose to lead up to get sort of character. City officials approved the recommendation of Teresa. Rose Valentino no longer enjoyed her role in the police service. The Cincinnati Police Department did not want a person like Rose Valentino to work for them. The next story is about Megan Hall, a patrol officer of LeVerne. Her story would shock you forever. 4 officers got suspended along with Megan Hall for engaging in sexual acts during service. Juan Lugo Piers, Lewis Powell, Seneca Shields, and Henry T. McGowan were the 4 police officers who got the suspension. What did they do? What were the offenses they committed? Patrick Magliocco, Larry Holliday, and Gavin Schubrel were faced with immediate suspension. Jason Cole, LeVerne's mayor, received information that Megan was having several affairs in her department. An investigation was conducted to find out the truth. Magliocco was the first to admit to having sex with her, and she even kissed his wife after discovering that he had an open marriage. Since the spring of 2022, Magliocco and his wife was engaging in sexual acts with Hall. They were even caught by her husband, but were not accused of anything severe. Powell was married when he had oral sex with Mayegan while on duty. He came to know that Hall had multiple partners, and this led him to confess his doings to his wife and come clean before her. Seneca Shields was the difficult one among these police officers, as he denied having any kind of sexual relation with Hall. When investigated further, he revealed that they were engaged in oral sex at the department's gym. They did these acts while being on duty. Holliday said that once he invited his fellow officers to his home, and they were all heavily drunk, but nothing happened in his home. Then, later on, he admitted to meeting Hall in hotel rooms and enhancing in sexual acts with her. McGowan had visited Hall's place along with his female friends, and they exposed their genitals before Hall. The Memorial Day hot tub party was the incident that led to the revelation of this major scandal. Officer Stats posted the video where they were all having fun. Magliocco forced Hall to drink vodka, and Hall was heavily intoxicated. She was unable to think in her right mind, and she took her top off at the party. Officer Durham was with Hall enjoying the pool when she showed her breasts to everyone. Stats tried to cover her up and protect her from future embarrassment. As the investigation went deeper, Hall was asked about all these accusations. She denied every one of them and said that she did not have any kind of sexual relations with the men in her department. She said that she had a relationship with Holliday. Apart from that, she did not have any kind of malicious relationships. She revealed that she had sent revealing images to the officers. She admits that she had a sexual relationship with Powell and Perez. Lugo was in denial that he had any kind of relationship with Hall. At the end of the investigation, the scandal was sealed by firing Hall, Lugo, Powell, Shields, and McGowan. Holliday, Magliocco, and Achieved were faced with a suspension due to their relationship with Hall. 26 February 1996 was the day this brutal murder happened. The daughter of Dr. Nels Rasmussen was murdered in Los Angeles. Before being murdered, Sherry felt stalked for a long time, and she informed her father about her concerns about being stalked. Stephanie J. Lazarus was the person who stalked Sherry. Sherry's father was desperately trying to bring out her murderer before the court, but police tried to close the case by putting it under the category of robbery. Many said that the police tried to cover up the murder and redirect it as they didn't want to lose one of their own. Why would Stephanie murder Sherry? What was the motive? Well, it's a love triangle. John, the husband of Sherry, was in love with Stephanie before he got married to Sherry. Stephanie was head over heels in love with John, but they could not get married to each other. They were in ULA together and celebrated their love for each other with the batch of '92, but their on and off relationship did not survive much. John met Sherry shortly after he ended things with Stephanie. Sherry was working at the Glendale Adventist Medical Center and was a sweetheart. He soon fell for her and asked her hands for marriage. Stephanie thought he lost John forever, but John decided to hook up with her for one last time. They had a secret relationship and no one knew about it. John later on ended things as soon as he got officially married in 1996, but Stephanie became emotionally locked in. Stephanie took her gun and shot Sherry to death in her house. John and left the place. The police officers couldn't find the murderer, but later on, they found out after 23 years through DNA tests. Do you think Stephanie killed Sherry? Is jealousy strong enough to kill a human being? Let us know in the comments